What's your favourite type of food?
I'd have to say French.
French. What is it you like about French food?
I think. What do I like about it? I love sauces. I love quite traditional cooking. I love meat, and French cook a lot with meat. And one thing you notice when you've lived there is that whereas when you go to an English restaurant, they put the main course and maybe some veg on the side. The French will have the main course, the main meat or whatever, or fish, but then you'll have a little potato dish there with a little puree with a caramelised sauce next to it, and then the vegetables on the side cooked in a different way with some ratatouille. So you've got like a whole plethora of tastes all coming from one dish, and you don't get that in England. And I love the way the French do that. I think it's brilliant.
Okay. And what's your favourite French meal of all time?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I do love duck, I have to say. Duck breast with gratin dauphinoise and some nice salty vegetables cooked al dente. I love it.
What do you like so much about the meal?
I love red meat. I love the fact that they cook it. When you ask for rare in France, they give it rare, whereas in England they do give it to you medium rare. No, I want to see the blood. I want this thing still quacking when it's on my plate. And I just think duck's such a tasty dish. It's gorgeous. Love it. Shit, sorry mate. Hello, Chris speaking. Oh, hello. Okay, great stuff. Yes, actually, my wife that's going to be at the. Could you do me a favour? When you get there, could you call exactly the same number but with a 3 on the end? That's her telephone number, so she's actually at home waiting for you. That's it, exactly. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye. Sorry. Right.
That's
Where
all
are we
right.
at? So where were we at?
I was going to say, when did you discover you loved French cuisine?
I think I've always kind of liked French style cuisine, but I probably didn't know that it was French until I lived there, and then I really found out that that's really proper French cooking.
You lived in France?
For 4.5 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
What age did you move to France?
28.
28. While in France, did you play any sport?
Actually, unfortunately, I snapped. That's a close question, by the way. One in France. Did you play? What sports did you play? Unfortunately, I ripped my what are they called? Meniscus in both my knees. So I was really off sport for a long, long time, unfortunately.
And how did you injure your meniscus?
Football. I was running down the street on my way to watch a football game in the pub and fell down a hole.
So not actually playing football?
Close question.
No, watching football, yeah. What football team were you going to watch?
Probably one of the big England games. Either an England game or would have been one of the Premiership games, I would have thought. One of them. It was terrible. I used to live in this little apartment on Rue La Colombette, and literally there was a pub called Frog and Roast Beef, and it was the proper English pub down there at the time, although I didn't spend too much time because I was trying to integrate myself a little bit. And it was very dangerous because it was about 100 metres down the road, so it was so easy just to go down there, pizza, pint. Good old days they were, I tell you.
Would you say you were at? It's closed.
No, it wasn't. How would you say you're?
I was going to say, would you say you're a big football fan? Which you'd have replied yes or no.
Oh, would you say that you're a big fan? So, it's a difficult one. How big a football fan would you say you are?
Would you say you are?
Yeah. Not massively. I'll watch it if a good team is playing, if Tottenham are playing, or some of the good sides to watch. I'll watch it, but I'm not massive. I mean, I've got it on my Sky thing, but to be honest with you, it's going when I'm into the next house, and I'm really not that fussed about it particularly. I prefer watching rugby than football. A lot more.
Which rugby team do you prefer watching?
Well, I tend to watch obviously all the internationals, the World Cup and all the Six Nations. But I do quite like watching Toulouse play actually.
And what did you think of our performance in the World Cup?
Shockingly bad, embarrassing. And it was very obvious that the head wasn't in it. The whole thing had been managed badly, you could tell. Just the fact that they were out drinking the night before a game was just...
What are your thoughts on the dwarf tossing fiasco?
Dwarf tossing? What was that?
Mike Tyndall and a few of the other players, while they were drinking, they went out and they were caught on camera dwarf tossing. It's quite a big thing amongst rugby teams when they're on tour. See how far you can throw a dwarf.
Where do you get the dwarfs from?
They're out there.
They're around.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about that. No, that's pretty sick, isn't it, really? It's a bit wrong.
It is, yeah.
It's a little bit messed up for an international side.
They got in a lot of trouble for it.
Yeah, they should do.
What are your thoughts on Martin Johnson being asked to leave as well?
I think it's a good decision. Too close to the players, definitely. Quite obvious. You look at the most successful coach we ever had, and he always kept his distance. He was close enough to be able to talk to them, but he was far enough to be able to make clean-cut decisions, and they respected him for that. And yeah, Johnson was too much of a lad, in my opinion.
Who do you think should take the role next?
God, that's very difficult.
Or what qualities should the next?
What qualities? Yeah, good question. I think it needs somebody that can bring back the professionalism, definitely. I don't think they need to do what they've done with the football, which is bring somebody in that's a complete authoritarian and is totally down the line. There just needs to be a good balance. I think we need to build a team again, definitely. I think somebody that wants to bring in new blood, because it's just getting so very boring and the same players, and even some of the players that were supposed to perform, people like Chris, what's his name, the winger? Ashton. He didn't perform at all. You can't compare him to somebody like Jason Robinson. Jason Robinson's just miles away from him.
Yeah.
We haven't got any world-class players in the side at the minute, in my opinion. I can't think of one. No one for me stands out, which is very worrying.
Touch briefly on football. What do you think about the descent of players creeping into the game of rugby? No respect for referees anymore.
I think it's very wrong. Yeah, I think it's one thing that rugby's always had going for it. But as soon as it became professional, you were going to start getting this. I think it's part of the course. I think, unfortunately.
Do you believe certain
Walk careful.
What do you think about certain teams having their buying limit capped to keep play fair?
I think that if football has taught us anything, we should do it in rugby. Because football is in danger of imploding, in my opinion. It's just ridiculous at the moment. It's become not particularly good to watch, actually. Yeah, great. So who's got the richest owner is going to be the one that's going to win the Premiership. Man City have proved that it can be done. Chelsea tried to do it, but the biggest mistake they had made was getting rid of the special one.
The special one?
Portuguese, who's now managing Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Jose Mourinho, that's it, yeah. They should have just kept him. They were mad to get rid of him.
Okay. Do you think Jose's done a good job?
Careful.
How do you think Jose is doing in his new role?
I've not followed Spanish football particularly, but I hear he's starting to put the cats amongst the pigeons in terms of Barcelona now. I hear. Hello. Hi. Oh, okay. Okay. Bollocks, they've turned up late. Fucking useless. Yes, sorry.
What do we say? Put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah. Now try and